All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Drum Mission. I'm here today to tell you a little bit about my Florida trip. I didn't take a lot of pictures on the way down. I was just me. I was driving. It was very hard to do. But I did take clips of the shows. And you'll see that at the end of the video. And what this video has two missions, I guess. Two purposes, and that's one, the Louie Prima Shuffle. I never knew of the Louie Prima Shuffle, and I know a cajillion shuffles. I play shuffles all the time, and I'd never heard of the Louie Prima Shuffle, and the Louie Prima Shuffle is no accents. No accents on 2 and 4, that is. Just very, very straight, and the snare hand's a little quieter than you would normally do it in a Chicago or New York shuffle or like that. Definitely the Chicago or New York shuffle is definitely going to have a more pronounced 2 and 4. Anyway, I'd never done that, and I had to make an adjustment really quick, and that's what this is about. That's what this is about. The car did great, went back and forth. There were no crazy events on the way down or the way up. There was one crazy event. Some person drove into the speedway, into the building in Florida while I was there. That actually happened. If you want to know more, you can DM me and I'll tell you more. But that was an event. But I really enjoyed playing with them. But the main thing I'm here to tell you is I have decided to move to Florida. Over the course of the next 6 months, it's probably going to take me that long to save enough money to make the move. And I'm going to make the move to Florida definitely before winter this year. I want you to come with me because what I am endeavoring to prove to you, that if you are a certain level of good, and what do I mean by that? Am I Steve Gadd? No. Am I the second coming of Buddy Rich? No. Am I Vinnie Colaiuta's better older cousin? No. But if you are a certain level of good, and you'll see, the clips I'm going to show you from are from the second night, and I had to make some quick adjustments on the Louie Prima Shuffle, and I think I did a pretty good job. And I don't know if I'm going to join that band. I don't know if they're going to hire me. There's a lot of reasons. I really had a great time playing with them. Doug Deming and Andrew, both great musicians, but I'm not a big rockabilly guy. That's one. And two, I really like freelancing. I like bouncing around because I like different styles. I like playing different styles, but I also like being able to say, no, I'm booked if I just want a night off. So, and the main difference is in Florida, they work 3 to 5 nights a week. Here in Michigan, we're lucky in the summer if we work 8 times a month. And that's really because in Michigan, not too long ago, about 30 years ago, the auto manufacturers closed a lot of plants. Auto part manufacturers, because of that, closed their plants. So you had bars and clubs that were entertaining these folks close. And that's where our jobs come in. So there's just much less clubs to play. And to be honest with you, I don't really love the Florida politics. I don't like banning books, and I love everybody. I don't care if you're transgender or homosexual or whatever you are. I don't care. If you're happy, I'm happy, you're happy. I have problems with all of that Christian rights stuff. But there's good and bad everywhere. I got a person in Michigan, a guitar player, called me one time like under the cover of darkness, 1 o'clock in the morning. I think he had a few to drink. Starts telling me he doesn't believe, this is in Michigan, doesn't believe that transgenders exist. So these people are everywhere. They're everywhere, can't get away. The one thing that Florida has that Michigan doesn't have is the sun. They have sunshine. So their crowd is tourist oriented, which means all year round, the clubs are open to entertain the tourists. In the winter, for sure, all the snowbirds. In the summer, people visiting Disney World, and kids are off from school, and the parents have a night out. So the clubs are operational. And if the clubs are operational, the musicians are operational. But my point is to prove to you that if you are a certain level of good, and if you're not, I can help you get there. Email me. thedrummission@gmail.com, and we'll talk about it. I don't teach forever. 2 months, 3 months, I'll give you some stuff to practice that will get you to that certain level of good. So wherever you are, you will work regularly. In Michigan, as much as I can, I work regularly. In Florida, I hope to work a lot more regularly. And even in that 1 week, I just felt happier and healthier. So come on with me. Let's go to the drum lab. Let me show you the Louie Prima shuffle. And then I'll show you some clips of the gig, one of the gigs I played. And then at the very end, you'll also see this bird I met on the way down there. Anyway, I won't see you in this chair again till the next video. Let's take it away to the drum lab. See you guys soon. All right, guys, the Louie Prima shuffle. And how is that different from the regular shuffle? And you know there's a bunch of shuffles. And so let's start with something very basic, the Texas two-hand. And I'm going to do a small explanation of a regular shuffle. But if you type on YouTube blues shuffle or anything like that, you're going to have a gajillion videos on that. And I'm not going to spend too much time. I myself have 3 or 4 videos on that subject, and I'm not going to spend much time on it. But basically the shuffle is both hands doing the same thing, playing of each beat, the first and third of the triplet. So in other words, I'm left-handed, I'm going to lead with my left. If you're right-handed, you lead with your right. I'm going to play 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1. And you've heard that before. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1, right? That's the rhythm. And for the Texas shuffle, the Texas two-hand it's called, or the double shuffle, it's got a couple of names. My gigs in Florida, they called it the double shuffle. I knew what they meant right away. Both hands are doing the same thing, and here's the key, the difference. In the regular double shuffle, both hands are doing the same thing, but I'm accenting 2 and 4, so you have to know a little bit about the molar grip. So it's 1, 2, right? I'm coming down and whipping 2 and 4. Like I said, if that's a difficulty for you, email me. We'll get some lessons. Won't take me more than a month, and you'll have it. So here we go. If you notice, I'm using the butt end of the stick. Ever since I turned like 55, I noticed a little weakness in my right hand, and the butt end of the stick helps me to compensate for that. And I got that little tip from Steve Gadd. I'm passing it on to you. Okay, the other thing you can do with the double shuffle is to accent 2 and 4 as rim shots, like this. By the way, and 4 on the floor on the bass drum. You don't have to do 4 on the floor. You can do 1 and 3 as well. I happen to like 4 on the floor. So let me do that a little bit more up-tempo, just for, I don't know, 16 bars or so. And then we're going to go on to the Louie Prima shuffle and how I adjusted right away. Here we go. Rim shotting 2 and 4. Texas two-hand. Texas two-hand. All right. Now, Louie Prima, a little different. At slower tempos, and what I mean by slower is, I don't know, 120, 130, 140, even 150. You can do the Louie Prima just like that, but we're going to leave out that accent so it's even easier, because now, let's have the camera watch here. I'm just relying on the bounce. Right? No more accent. So let's take it slow at first. And you want to be careful not to accent anything. Right? You're just getting this down, just both hands. And I guess just naturally you sort of accent the numbers a little bit. You know, the 1, the 2, but you know, a little bit. So let me put a little more mustard on that. And the first time you mentioned that to me, and there was a tempo about that, I realized, oh, Yeah, that's what the drummer from Louie Prima did. That's what he did. But then, when they start talking about really fast tempos, I realized doing that was not going to work. Was not going to work. So I had to start reconfiguring. So right away, this is how I start hacking. And this is what I mean, as I said in part one, you need to be a certain level of good. A certain level of good. If you need help, send me an email, send me something. We'll talk about some lessons. We won't need a ton. But you need to have certain skills to be that certain level, and you can make these adjustments. And I'm going to show you. Not only was I able to do it, but I found a quick hack at the very quick tempos where I felt it might be a little, not quite what I wanted it to be, or I might not be able to keep it up. So let me show you all that stuff. So here's the first hack. Instead of doing this, I change it to Spang-a-Lang. I didn't always accent the tune for. You've heard that before. 1, 2 to 3, 4 to 1. And in my snare hand, instead of playing 8 notes, 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 1, I played 6, leaving out 1 and 3. 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 1. So let's say the bass drum on all 4, and let me do that for you. I'm going to add a kick with the hi-hat on 2 and 4. I felt I added just a little bit of a forward motion to it. I also did on the cymbal a lot, but I'm not doing that now because I want you to hear this better. So here we go. I'm going to brisken this up, and then I'm going to show you the final hack I did. Alright, I'm not going to run the metronome through the system on this particular one. I'm just going to show you at 170, I'm going to do what we were talking about, what I'm going to call the full Louie Prima. And that's with my hi-hat doing Spang-a-Lang, that's 1, 2 to 3, 4 to 1, 2 to 3. And my snare doing that da of 1, 2, da of 2. And then da of 3, 4, da of 4, right? We just talked about that, so I'm going to do that at 170 and show you how it sounds. And 170 would be a moderately brisk version of the Louie Prima. And then, let me just show you how that sounds and how that feels. And I'll play around with it a little bit. I'm also going to add that 2 and 4 on the sock cymbal, okay? And whenever I hit the hi-hat with my foot, I call it a sock cymbal. And that's what these used to be called anyway. That's another story for another time. Anyway, what I found is when the tempos got very quickly, doing that full Louie Prima was difficult, and that's what I mean by a certain level of good. I had to come up with a hack quickly that would work, and I did. And let me do this first, and then I'll show you. So, hold on here. I'll switch to the drum cam. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Is much tougher to do than you think at those tempos to keep that accent at a very minimal. But I want you to hear what that sounds like. So as the tempos got faster, I realized I wasn't going to be able to do that. I keep trying to turn this off and it won't go off. Alright, so like I said, I knew I wasn't going to be able to keep up that full Louie Prima groove at the tempos they wanted to do. So this is what I came up with. Alright, let me do it nice and slow for you. Instead of doing 6 notes here, 1, 2, da, 3, da, 4, da, right? 3 each time. I did 2. 1, da, 2, da, 3, da, 4. And then I kind of intermixed it. So it was like this. 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 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 1. So I kind of started and stopped it. And you know what? Not only did I think it sounded good and I sounded cleaner and tighter, but I was able to hold on to the tempo better. And to be honest with you, with the guitar and the bass playing, and sometimes these guys play with horns and harmonica, I don't think anybody would ever be able to tell. So that is a hack that you can use. So let me reconfigure everything, and I'm going to play that at about 225 beats a minute with the metronome, clicking on 2 and 4, right? I'll count this in, I'll do it, and I'll fade us right into clips from last weekend in Florida with this band, and you'll see how I did. And you can see how I am doing the full Louie Prima and not doing the full Louie Prima, and it sounds fine, but more than that, I'm not holding on for dear life and hoping I don't fall off the bridge, you know what I mean? Anyway, that's the hack I use. Let me show you, and let me finish up with saying this to you guys. I'm going to move to Florida. And what I say all the time, do I need to be the second coming of Buddy Rich? No. Do I need to be Steve Gadd's older, better brother? No. I do believe you need to be a certain level of good, and what I'm going to do is going to take you with me to Florida. It's going to take me about 6 months to move down there. I'm going to show you that if you work hard and you obtain that certain level of good, you can work regularly, and I will. All right, let's go right to that Louie Prima thing that I did and fade right in to those clips from the weekend, and I will see you guys on the next one. Mwah! Drum camming.
Look.